Okay. Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night.
Live from DireWolfCity, Gray, it's a go.
Oh, we're live? Oh, shit.
We're live. Oh, we are live. Hi.
Hello, my sweet summer children. How are you guys doing? We are here tonight to talk about the White Walkers in the Winds of Winter. And I have with me some very lovely ladies. Let me introduce you to first, Alicia. Alicia?
Hi. I'm sorry. I never know how to do intros. Just hi, guys. If you don't already know me, my name is Alicia. I've worked with Gray a couple of times. Yeah.
And after Alicia, we have Arya. Arya, would you like
Hi.
to?
Oh, I'm only jumping the gun. Hi, everybody. My name's Arya. You can find me on all platforms at I Eat Zebra. I've come on this channel a few times. I'm going to be back a couple more. I can't wait to talk wins with you guys.
Nice. And we have Mandy. Mandy?
Hi, everyone. I am Mandy, and I am the Gray Area Discord moderator, and I do all of the scheduling for the Obsidian Nights podcast. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nim's Shadow.
How are the audio levels? And can you let me know, moderators in the chat, how the audio is? Soon as you guys clear the audio, we're going to jump right into this. I just don't want to be talking a whole bunch and then you can't hear me. Hear us, because we're about to spill tea or juice. Long night juice.
It's a juice hybrid tea. Producer here, it's their first time, so we're gonna go through this. Make sure the sound's perfect. We're getting confirmation it's perfect. You ladies are good for a go. Nobody wants to hear this voice. Take it away, Gray.
Awesome. So we wanted to talk about the White Walkers in Winds of Winter because we had Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones kind of like didn't answer any questions that we had about the White Walkers. It was kind of weird how they ended it. Like we're not gonna, no, we are gonna talk about the show, and how we think it will differ, but we're going to talk about like what the White Walkers want. Will the wall fall? How are they going to get past the wall? Like what's going on with the White Walkers in the book? What's everything that the White Walkers, that we know about the White Walkers? That's what we're talking about. But mainly the purpose of this is to see what's going to go down in Winds of Winter coming soon, hopefully. So where should we start? The first time we see the White Walkers in the books, of course, is the prologue. But I don't want to start there. I want to start with who do y'all think Arya is going to kill the Night King? And let me know in the chat, do you think Arya is going to kill the Night King in the books? If there's a Night King in the books?
No. Hard no.
Hard no.
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 I don't think so either.
Do you think, Alicia?
I mean, I don't think there's going to be a Night King in the book. I honestly don't really know if I think Arya is going to pull through. So,
do you think the great other could be like a stand-in for the Night King, or the Night King could be like some kind of composite of like the great other?
Maybe I just need to do more research on it, to be quite honest. It's been a hot minute since I've really dug into it, which is a horrible confession to make right here, right now on this topic. But I mean, and we'll discuss why later, but I think when they say the great other, I think it's hyperbole. I think it's just kind of their way of swearing. I don't know if I personally believe that there is this great main other as much as the children of the forest accidentally created something they couldn't control anymore. And now these entities are kind of on autopilot with whatever it is their mission is.
Okay, so let's talk about the biggest differences between book and show White Walkers. I would say their armor for sure. Like the White Walkers have like this wild camouflage armor that like changes with the environment that it's in, or like if they're walking past a lake, they look like a lake. You can't really see them. They look like shadows. They're really, really cold, which is a given, but so cold that you can't even breathe when you're around them. So one of the biggest differences from the show to the books is the Night King not being a thing. That's for sure. Another one is we don't know what they do with the babies. Like we weren't shown. Like in the show, they show us the Night King take these babies and like turn their eyes blue, but we've not seen that yet in the books. What's a big difference for you?
I would say that in the books, he describes them as having like this otherworldly beauty. And in the show, I'm not sure if you guys saw what I saw, but they were not cute. I don't know.
They look like dried out assholes.
Yeah, it just was not a like good look. Not how I envisioned it in my head. I thought of like kind of like this like mythological race of like some icy elf looking thing. I don't know. But that's how my head imagined it. And that's kind of not what we saw.
Right. In the books, they're almost described as the Targaryens are described. Like they have this ethereal beauty and they're, tall and statuesque and they have this, shimmery armor and they're like beautiful creatures. And that's not what we saw in the show. They were like decaying, body parts missing, sticks and bones walking around like zombie like creatures.
They really needed to exfoliate.
Yes. They definitely need a good exfoliator, but they.
But I have some. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have some super chats. I just want to. Stephanie Spain, thank you for the super chat. And I saw another one. I don't want to miss it. The chat is moving fast. Y'all showed up tonight.
So it looks like Count Balerion of House Tatters said Azor Aharia, it's hard to read from here, the Maisie Sue that wasn't promised.
I mean, yeah, she was. She wasn't. What's going on the screen?
Oh,
She
yeah,
was,
that's pretty good.
she wasn't. Yeah. So Arya is not going to kill the Night King because there is no Night King. But do you think Arya is going to be involved in the fight with the others?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. To me, it's like Chekhov's gun. You're getting her prepped for fuck knows what. I mean, she's getting all this training, and it's not just so that she can run around being she's a child soldier no matter how you cut it, but it's not so that she can go shank Cersei later on or scratch another name off of her list. She's going, like, one thing I really enjoyed about season 8 is that moment where she comes swooping in with her little double-edged spear and she just starts whooping ass. And I think we're going to see a much more extended, in-depth meta version of that in the books. Like, she's meant to fight in this great war. I just don't think that she's going to be the deciding factor as much. And I mean, the more I think of it, I don't know if it's going to be so much like one person saves the day as much as it's going to be a group effort. So there are going to be many assists, and whoever deals the final blow, I don't think they're going to be able to do it without these assists from other characters. And I think Arya is going to be an assist.
I definitely
she's going to have a role in the war, but she's not going to end it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of Arya assists, George has mentioned it a couple times about Nymeria's wolf pack, and I would love to see Arya fighting like side by side with her direwolf, because even though like the rare glimpses that someone talks about it with like Robb in Greywind, I wish we got more of that. So I could definitely see like some type of, if that's how Arya goes out, possibly, since that quote, I'm probably going to misquote it with the we'll find you like thawed out in the spring or something with like a needle buried in your hand or something. I'm grossly misquoting that. But if you're familiar with the quote, you get where I'm going with that. So I could see maybe like her going out in like a blaze of glory and then maybe second life living in Nymeria and continuing that fight.
Oh my God.
Here's where I have a love-hate for the first book, A Game of Thrones, though. There's a little bit of retcon in Game of Thrones. So he kind of went this direction with so many passages in Game of Thrones. And then he decided along the way, like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I think that when he wrote Game of Thrones initially, like, yeah, that is the biggest hint neon sign pointing toward Arya's going to die. She's going to die. However, I'm pretty sure it's Arya. His wife Paris is like, if you kill Arya, I will divorce you. Yeah. So I don't know how much of that is just them giving each other shit, if he's honoring his wife's wishes because he loves her and he's not going to kill off Arya. But at the same time, like, I kind of think he's giving us shit because that's not just something that you expose so much. Like, you're basically saying, in my like big time body count book, I'm not going to kill this specific character. Like, that's a spoiler in itself.
Well, especially after, like you said, pointing a neon sign at it and saying, we'll find you, like Ara said, we'll find you buried in the snow with a needle in your hand. But he's very good at subverting, not to go back to the subverting that we had in the show, which was kind of ultimately pointless, but he likes to throw out these, hey, look at me, while all of this other stuff is going on in the background that we're not expecting. And he's good at sending out these red herrings that we're all focusing on while something comes in and just swoops in and completely takes us by surprise.
Yeah.
Her living on in Nymeria is an interesting thought. I had only really considered that from John's perspective. I'd never really considered that from Arya's, but it's interesting.
They definitely still have a bond because she keeps warging into her from a whole continent away every night.
Even from, like you said, from a whole ocean away, she's warged into her. So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I definitely know that wolf pack's coming. Like we couldn't get wolves. We couldn't get wolves in season 8, and I read somewhere that they had a scene where the wolves were fighting a dragon. Did you see that? Like, am I
did,
the only one
and
that saw that?
it just no. I saw it, and it made me just like cringe so hard for so many reasons. First of all, I don't want to see the puppies get hurt. Second off, it's just a dumb fuck visual. I'm sorry, it just is. Like there's no point to it other than like, let's throw all this budget in this. I'll stop because if I start, I won't stop. But back to the topic of the White Walkers. I think we were supposed to be talking about where we thought they came from.
Yeah, so we want to talk about the origins and everything that we've seen about them so far, and then we're going to get to where they're going. So origins, I just did a video on where I believe they came from. I believe they came from the Children of the Forest. I believe that the Children of the Forest used some dark magic. I believe they sacrificed their children to make the White Walkers, and then when they made them, it was such a big event that's why the Arm of Dorn broke. That's why shit flooded.
I don't know if they even meant to make the White Walkers so much as like because I know in the show the children were like, yes, we created them as a weapon. Is that ever really confirmed in the books?
No.
That they create? Okay, so I don't even know if because I watched your video and I got to thinking about it, and there's no control over the White Walkers. Like, I think that if you have enough juice to purposefully make these beings, you'd have enough juice to at least control them to some extent. They have no control whatsoever. So I think the White Walkers were kind of accident. They were an uh-oh baby, in my opinion.
I mean, definitely. Yeah, I think that the reason I think the children created them was because it's such a perfect weapon for them. Now, do they know what they were creating? Did they think they would have more control over them than what they had? Did they at one point have control over them and they lost it? And I say that because they say, oh, well, the children have such small numbers, but the White Walkers take every number that their opponents have and turn that into a number for them. So it seems like a perfect weapon for them to want to use. But far as like, I don't know if they created them or if they woke them up, or somebody left a comment on the video that I did, and they were like, what if the children turned their babies into White Walkers? So like baby green seers were what were sacrificed and turned into White Walkers, and they thought they could control them, but maybe they couldn't.
Because Children of the Forest numbers were so little that they wanted something that they could not necessarily control, but a force that they could create that would work with them, that could be plentiful where they were not plentiful.
Hold on, I wanted to mention a quick point while it was on my mind. In regards to control, I was thinking that in the show, you know how it seems like the Night King and Bran connect on some type of like astral plane, if you will. Like the werewood net seems to be like its other plane of like existence within Westeros itself, like some type of magic force. I'm wondering if maybe that was how they originally thought they could control them, was using that like werewood net, if you will.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Because I think Bloodraven tries to control Bran using that plane, or direct Bran to do things using that plane.
Right.
I do think that when you talked about in your video, and I mean it's in the text, some people say that they sacrificed 1,000 men. Some people say they sacrificed their children. I kind of wonder if the truth isn't somewhere in between the middle, but I do think no matter what, somebody was sacrificing babies, because I mean, look at how they're doing it now. That's not quite just show canon, because at some point, one of Craster's wives, or even Gilly, refers to the others as her brothers. So whatever's happening to Craster's babies, it's implied that they are somehow turned into White Walkers, unless it's just kind of one of those things where like we randomly call each other brother or sister when we're not actually related by blood, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, Edric Storm said a funny ass comment in the chat. So the title of the video is what do the White Walkers want? He said the White Walkers want to tell you about your car's extended warranty. I just had to repeat it. Carry on. I'm sorry, I'm a bad host. So I have a super chat from Danny Satua. Just want to say thank you for keeping A Song of Ice and Fire fresh until Winds of Winter comes out. Thank you very much for the super chat, and I'm not going to let you guys down. I had the juice to get you through the long night. So Winds of Winter, I think, I don't know, like, so when we were getting ready to go live, the Dragon Demand said there was like some breaking news that George just signed like some $10 million deal, at least 10 million, 8-figure deal with HBO, where he's gonna, I guess, be writing and creating for them. So when the fuck are we gonna get Winds? Like,
let me cut in live here. I think that was for Big Red Gum that he signed that for, and it has nothing to do with it whatsoever. No, but yeah, sorry here.
He's gonna finish Raised by Wolves.
Ooh, there you go.
Just I'm just bullshitting, but
I'm hoping to get it by the end of this year. I'm hoping. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm really hoping. And I feel like if we don't get it by the end of this year, then we'll get it next year. And we might get another sample chapter, maybe.
We'll get lots of Amazon announcements that aren't Winds of Winter.
I don't really get mad when he takes on other projects, because I realize sometimes the way inspiration works is you can't just bulldoze your way through creativity. Sometimes you have to draw inspiration from other projects that you take on, and then you're like, oh yeah, especially if George is like me and he can't just when I'm in a workplace, when I'm getting paid good money, I can do things in a very linear way. But recreationally, he's getting paid too, but this is still recreation for him. But it makes sense to me that his mind is in all these different directions. I will say I'll be sad and disappointed if we never get Winds, but I'm not going to be like super pissed off with him because I get it. But okay. But I think that when it comes out, hopefully, I hate predicting this because anyway, hopefully within 2 years. So I'm kind of behind you on this, Gray.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you think he might release one more sample chapter in the meantime?
I could see that as like promotional material. Yeah. Even though he doesn't really need promotional material, is one of the most anticipated books.
I almost hope he doesn't. I feel like
just do like a Beyonce with Lemonade. Just drop your book and walk away, and then that's
drop it on the internet.
I'm hoping we get it by this November, December. And from like a logistical standpoint, I understand why it's taking so long. He has to make sure that he's wrapping up his story the way he wants, and it has to tie into Dream of Spring. That's being very generous that we'll ever see any bit of Dream of Spring, but he wants it to tie into it in a seamless way where if he could release them both at the same time, it would be an astronomically huge text. And obviously he can't do that, but I feel like a lot of Dream is probably already completed because of the Winds of Winter. And so like if one character is really rolling for him and it doesn't all fit into Winds, then it's automatically going to be put into Dream. And so I think a lot of Dream of Spring is probably done already too. he just wants to make sure that it has a nice stopping point, it has a nice flow to the text. And I can completely understand where he would want to prioritize that.
I have been saying that for years, just not on the. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
You're fine, honey. You're fine. But I feel tentatively optimistic that we might get it by this November, December. If not, then hopefully early next year.
I think that I really want it, but like I'm not tripping if we don't get it, because we're gonna have House of the Dragon to like tie us over. Even though it's not wins. Like it's not wins. I really need to know what's going on with the White Walkers, what's going on with Jon, what's going on with Dany, Fagon. Like there's so much going on. Like in the books, Jon's still dead. He's not even alive. He's not even alive. So speaking of get the TV show. In the TV show, they went on a white hunt for White to take it to Cersei to prove to Cersei that they were real. And in the process, a dragon gets killed, reanimated, and that's how the White Walkers get through the wall.
Spoiler alert.
I don't even, if you ain't seen it, I don't know why you here. Like, I don't even know what you're doing here. But do you think the wall is gonna fall? Because I already know none of you think that's what's gonna happen, right?
I don't think, if it does fall, it will definitely not be the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
I'm just saying, you don't think that season 7 plot line is gonna happen, right?
Oh, not at all.
No,
Okay.
No way.
There's that little excursion and Gendry doing his 100-yard dash and making it back to the wall in an afternoon when it took him 4 fucking days to get up there in the first place.
Yeah.
No, none of that's gonna happen.
Okay.
But I think it's possible that they could breach the wall somehow. There's so much talk of our horns and the dragon horn and the horn of winter and the horn that's going to knock down the wall and the horn that's going to, flip Westeros upside down. And it's something might need to give there. We might need, some kind of payoff for all of this buildup for our horns. The one that Euron has is pretty creepy. Dude got kind of barbecued from the inside out.
True.
And that was fun. It was cute. I liked it.
It was sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that part.
Sexy.
But I don't know that that's a wall crumbler. I mean, magic is stronger at the wall. We learned that from Melisandre, that her magic is stronger up there. So maybe there's just some latent powers locked inside the runes carved on the horn that's going to activate magically when it gets to the wall. I don't know. I'm hoping for some kind of horn payout. But
I was gonna say, actually, with the wall coming down, I kind of see Memory Sorrow and Thorn, light spoilers, them doing some type of magical thing that they thought was going to work and ended up doing the exact opposite and bringing about the destruction. And I think they'll do something that they think is going to defeat the White Walkers. In actuality, it would kind of break the magic that's on the wall itself.
I don't want to be a self-centered. I don't want to be a self-centered brat on the internet for everyone to see, but I still plan on reading that series. So if you can, and MJ can like knock it the fuck off with these parallels ruining shit, I'd love it. I'd love it. No, but I mean serious, but I'm not serious about calling you out.
I mean, it's been.
That's a 10-4. We got you.
Time to start reading it, and but I'll stop. That's
3 years before you were fucking born. Get over it. No, I do a serious theory. It's just me kind of speaking out of my ass at this point. But I do kind of wonder if the horn is just a component to what can bring the wall down. Kind of like it's either gunpowder or the match. And then there's something at the wall, almost like if you remember that really old movie, don't know if you've heard of it, Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, when the orcs made their way, when the orcs started pouring into Helm's Deep, they basically like blew it up with this little bomb that they made. I kind of wonder if there's not something embedded in the wall that's going to bring it down once it's activated by the horn, rather than like the horn itself just making it go, you know. I have as of yet to really read it. No, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get, I'm moving on from that thought. But when the White Walker when the others make their way to the other side of the wall, which I think we can all agree that they're going to, whether it comes crumbling down or not, where do we think Jon is going to be?
Ooh.
In Winterfell.
I think so too. In Winterfell.
Yeah.
Because technically his watch has ended.
Yeah.
Technically.
And like they killed him and I got him going to Winterfell. I don't have him. I have Stannis actually winning Winterfell. Like I have Stannis winning that war. Like Stannis fight, like the war, the Battle of the Bastards. I don't think Jon's even gonna be alive yet.
Really?
He'll still be
when
in
that's
Ghost.
going down. I think he'll still be in Ghost.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the others at this point. I'm like, holy fuck, what is your timeline? I do think that Stannis is definitely going to win that Battle of Ice. I think he has something up his sleeve. He kind of is a military strategist. But I do, one thing now that we're talking about it, I wonder where Stannis is going to be during all of this. And now that I'm thinking about it out loud, since we're talking about catastrophic events on Oopsie Daisy sacrificing children, do we think that whatever Stannis does with Shireen, that might be, I don't know if you guys are on board with the whole match and gunpowder thing, but do you think that might be another component incidentally to the horn, the wall losing its power?
I think
because
that's,
I mean,
yeah, I was just say that kind of goes into what I was thinking, like maybe that being like that recreating Nisa, because we all know he doesn't really care about his wife at all. He doesn't. It's mentioned multiple times. He kind of just has like sex with her just out of duty, not out of pleasure.
For the sake of honor, but
So
not
for
because he
him-
wants to.
yeah.
Exactly. So for him, it's like that Nisa sacrifice has to be somebody you actually love and care about. And who does he love more than Shireen? Realistically, nobody.
Davos.
Oh, yeah, Davos. But who doesn't love Davos? But
I mean,
so maybe that kind of like sacrificing Shireen, thinking that might be what tempers Lightbringer. We'll see.
But then that opens up a debate about where Stannis is when this takes place, because some people think he'll be at Winterfell. I honestly believe that when he burns Shireen, he'll probably be at the Night Fort by this point, because that is his seat. But that also opens up all sorts of other can of worms, rabbit trail topics about, does Jon, because we're talking about where Jon is, does Jon push Stannis out of Winterfell? Because honestly, I don't see a collab going on between the two of them. Because Stannis' whole shtick, yes, he wants to save the world, but at the same time, in his mind, he is king. He is absolutely king. And as far as he's concerned, the North is not an independent kingdom. It's still under his rule, as far as he's concerned. He's asking, grinding his teeth while he does it, he's asking very politely for them to lend their power to him. But Jon's going to be crowned king in the North. I'm sure we can all agree on that. It makes me wonder who's going to be in Winterfell, who's going to be at the Wall. Jon, I don't know if he'll necessarily be in Winterfell. I don't think he'll be in the North, to be honest. And that's my crackpot theory for the moment. I think he'll be inside a certain auntie of his at that moment.
Danny, boat sex?
Boat sex.
Boat sex.
Did you just
Dragon Bone Zone?
Did you just canonize boat sex? You just
It's
made it
called
canon?
Dragon Bone Zone, actually. That's
Dragon
what the
Bone
kids
Zone.
were calling. That's what the kids were calling it in 2017, okay?
Well, I do think he's going to be at Winterfell when the wall comes down. I think Jon is one of the main people. I feel like he's been built up to be one of the people that will defeat the others. Like, I feel like he's been built up to be Azor Ahai, the prince who was promised. Like, I feel like his father kind of died to make him. So I do feel like Jon is a big part. But I also do like the idea that I think Stannis tells Melisandre, or Melisandre tells Stannis, or Davos, or somebody, that Azor Ahai didn't win his war alone. Like, he didn't win his war alone. Like, so I think everybody has a part to play. Arya, Dany, Bran, everybody has a part to play. But at the same time, I feel like Jon has, if Jon has shown us anything, well, Dany has too, because they kind of parallel, but Jon has shown us how he has the ability to bring people together, even though one faction of the people he was trying to bring together killed him. He does have the ability to bring people together, or like protect people and things like that. And I feel like he is the Azor Ahai character.
I was going to say, bringing up Jon, the dream he has where he's on the top of the wall fighting back the dead with a on like Valyrian armor, or I think they just call it black armor, but it's implied that it seems like Valyrian armor. So
black
do you think
ice,
that?
Right?
Yeah, I believe
Black
that's how it's described in the book.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, I don't have the quote in front of me. I keep doing this to you guys. My bad.
This is so informal. Just go.
You guys get it. But thinking with that being said, do you think that dream will hold the weight that he actually will be at the wall when it comes down? Because I could imagine where everything happening right now at Hardhome, where like that creepy dead things in the water quote, I feel like they're going to want to, where they're fortifying the wall, I believe they'll be notified once the White Walkers are that close enough to get there. Obviously, there's the weather issue with travel, getting back and forth, but I think Stannis and or Jon, someone's going to send more reinforcements up there from the Northern Lords to bolster the powers at the wall.
So regarding prophecy, here's where I think the chomp on the penis comes into play. Sometimes I wonder if Azor Ahai is an actual person, like concrete, solid, fatalistic sort of like character in there. And sometimes I wonder if it's not just a job that needs to get done, that not anyone can fill, but multiple people can fill it at this point. Like it's a series of tasks that needs to take place in order to defeat the others, if that makes sense. And it's something that can be fulfilled by, like I said, I don't want to say anyone, but it doesn't have to be just Dany. It doesn't have to be just Jon.
Multiple Azor Ahais.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I think it's whoever just gets the shit done, because we're talking about sacrifices. I mean, this probably all started because of a sacrifice. I mean, it's blood magic, you know? So, I mean, I think it's anyone who is coming along. And when we think about what Stannis is going to do to Shireen, obviously he's going to botch it. I think it's going to be a very bastardized version of what it takes to end the long night. It's bastardized, which is why it doesn't go right. But I think it's something that needs to be done rather than like one particular character is going to do it. However, I do think there are certain, criteria to fit that bill. So not just anyone can do it, but there are multiple characters that would fit the criteria.
Yeah, it's a check. It's a check the boxes after it's already been stated stance, meaning a self-fulfilled prophecy. And we do have a question from the wonderful Discord members here. And as Justin Thomas, the annoying producer, I'm going to go ahead and read them to you. I was always curious about something the Night Queen situation and the children she had with the Stark ancestor. Is it possible those children she bore could be living amongst the wildlings? Because there are some wildlings who have unusual description, I'm assuming it meant descriptions, that are similar to the Night Walker. This is verbatim, people, don't blame me. Mentioned in the Son of Ice and Fire. Will the Red Priests of R'hllor send a company of their elites to battle the others? I'm not sure if my question is appropriate at the time. Oh, it is. It's always appropriate. Questions are always appropriate. always question everything. Time, because there might not be any others fighting in the next book, which is what you guys are speaking to. Maybe the priest will start working towards that in the following book.
So, that was a really loaded question. That was a lot of questions in one question, I think. So that was a fucking paragraph. So I think they're saying there's two questions.
Yeah,
so
I can lead you through.
Are the Night Queen and the Night King had kids, and could those kids still be living amongst the wildlings,
yes,
like as White Walkers?
Yeah. What is the proof? Well, they say that there are wildlings who have unusual description, which I think they meant description. So like, so what about their physicality tells you that there could have been this Night Queen, because the Night Queen and the Night King are quite different, as we know from the books, to the show. The Night King is a full-on White Walker. The Night Queen could very much so be not a White Walker. But they say there are some descriptive testimonies that speak to the wildlings having white-like features, is what they're saying, like interbreeding.
White as in WIGHT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, correct.
It's a no for me.
Yeah, because they're too cold, like physically. Well, me personally, I don't think the Night Queen was like a straight up other. I think she's something kind of in between, like a Melisandre, but with ice instead of fire.
I think that's what they're trying to get at. They're trying to get at a hybrid, right?
What if she was just the woman and she got villainized through the years?
That's what I think. I mean, but let's theorize. Let's theorize before we jump to the next one.
Because they call her a corpse queen.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if she is White Walkers, because the White Walkers aren't even dead. Like the White Walkers are human, like she type of race.
We all know how easy story in Westeros with just one word. It doesn't. Our stories don't have to be taken verbatim. They don't have to be taken at face value, because they are changed so easily to suit people's needs. So if the other members of the Night's Watch, specifically in the Night Fort, absolutely hated this woman because she made their Lord Commander break his vows, they would slander her to, back and forth down the wall. So I don't think necessarily that we are to believe everything that is said about her. And it would be very confusing to me if the 13th Lord Commander, right, the Stark ancestor who supposedly became the Night King, if he was like the Night King daddy, like how is there already whites and White Walkers on the other side of the wall?
Yeah.
If he was the first one. And if he was the first one, why is the wall there in the first place?
Well,
the wall was supposed to be built to keep the whites on the other side.
Well,
I'm glad you questioned this too, because I felt like an idiot the past however many years being like chicken,
it's always
egg,
confused me.
one?
Exactly. The chicken and the egg. Like if he was the first White Walker, then how does she exist? And if he was the first White Walker, why does the wall already exist?
Well, I think that Cold Hands is the answer to that, ladies. Like, in my opinion, the producer that shouldn't be talking, Cold Hands is the answer to that. Like there's people that stand at the wall because they believe in the White Walkers, and there's people that stand at the wall because they believe the real threat is the wildlings. So it's like this ignorant task that they're set to, right? And I think that that's kind of what this person is speaking to. And I can't speak for them. I guess I am, and we're going to move on to the next one. But it seems like they're speaking to that because there is this discrepancy between what is right and what is wrong. They built the wall because of White Walkers, but what is the wall actually used for practically, right?
Right.
Wildlings. So there's two different perspectives on this. And there's something in between that lays, and that's Cold Hands in the book. But we will move on to the third segment.
I agree with that, except for one point.
Yeah.
If it was only to keep out the wildlings, the wall would not need magic.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I speak to the wall as a contradiction. Get what I mean? I'm well aware of that. I think that's what George wants. Is they built
and
wall.
but just countering that point that if it was specifically for just keeping out these other people, not the others, but the people that are other to the people of Westeros, meaning the wildlings, the free folk, that the wall would not need the magic that it has.
Yeah.
So it would have to be, in my opinion, it would have to be for the purpose of the White Walkers and the Night's King.
And that's the beauty and the contradiction, right? Because they think it's silly for magic to be the reason, in White Walkers, for that wall to be there. It's the wildlings they need to protect against. But magic is what built the wall. So it's this beautiful contradiction. That's what I'm getting. No, you're perfectly right. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I want to take this moment real quick to shout out to some people in the chat. I see Teflon TV. What's up, Tony? I hope you're feeling better.
Tony.
Adrian, that's Mama of Ferrets. Bazad, Golden Hands, Jess Britbeck, Ebony Thief, Bear Chill, The Tales of Elbeck. I just wanted to shout a few people out before we got into the second part of that question, which is, will Melisandre be bringing the fiery hand with her?
Yes, as a high priestess of that faith, I feel like it's her duty and responsibility, especially where she sees this impending threat coming. And this is the fight they've been training for their whole lives, was the fight against the great other, which is pretty much like the devil, if you will, of that religion. Like, this is the fight of all fights. I would be surprised more so if she didn't call for the reinforcements.
I think she's gone rogue because when we actually see the temple in Essos, when Tyrion, I believe it's Tyrion's point of view chapters, they're preaching the good name of Daenerys. So I think eventually,
every one of them.
Yep, they are going to make their way to Westeros because of Dany, and then Melisandre might link up with them, but she's the only one that's not preaching Daenerys. So I think she definitely did her own thing, which I love Melisandre. I think she's completely misunderstood. I wouldn't say she's justified in everything that she does, but I mean, the things that she does it for good reason. So I don't think she'd ever admit that she did her own thing and broke away from the actual establishment, but she's rogue. Yeah.
I was gonna say actually with the her going rogue, yes and no. Like, obviously she's kind of like the only person on the Stannis train, but at the same time, their whole thing is to bring the summer that never ends. And obviously they see Dany as this harbinger, but if Melisandre sends a raven like, hey, no, the great other is mobilizing immediate, like right now, we need you guys here, I doubt they're going to be like, oh no, we have to wait for Daenerys to get over there. They're going to go. All it takes is one raven, one message, and I'm assuming somebody's probably seen it in some flame somewhere, something that they maybe not have fully understood what it was, but it could be that same warning, and then once they get that message from her, they're like all click together.
I had this idea that Melisandre was actually Azor Ahai. I know it sounds crazy, but she was actually Azor Ahai, and that she was gonna go head to head with the White Walkers and do the thing that she did to Oral, Oral's eagle, where she scorched Oral's spirit out of the eagle. I was wondering, could she do that to a White Walker? If White Walkers are human spirits that have been put into these ice bodies, because we don't know the process, with Craster's kids. Could she do that? Could she scorch them out of the bodies with her mind like she did Oral's eagle? Did the wall do that to Oral's eagle and Melisandre take credit for it?
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect segue to the third segment here, which we have wants and needs of the White Walkers, which I'm going to go through really quick, ladies. And
Melisandre kind of talked about the wall being a hinge of the world, her powers are greater there. So I mean, it could be she did it with assistance from the wall, the wall magnified it.
She was able to do it because of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a power boost.
Yeah,
right. And I think that's the only textual example that we have of her coming face to face with a warg, other than when she's basically, flirting with John about ghosts. Well, it's flirting,
she's
even
seeing
if
a lot
it's
of
doom and
wargs,
gloom.
though.
Mm-hmm.
She's seeing a lot of wargs at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
She's seeing Bran as a warg because she sees Bloodraven, the wood face, and a
Mm-hmm.
little boy with the face of a wolf. And then when she asks the fires to see Azor Ahai and hoping to see Stannis, she sees John surrounded by skulls, shifting between a man and a wolf. And I'm to me that means seeing him dead and warging into ghost.
What I mean is, like, it's the only time she's put in a position where she has to go toe to toe with a warg.
Okay.
Oh, and there's that other warg at the wall. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name.
One with the boar.
He has the boar. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one with the boar, which is the reason why John was keeping Ghost away.
Mm-hmm.
So she's dealing with him on a regular basis too, because I doubt you're gonna miss somebody walking around a big old boar.
So we all agree that the White Walkers are gonna come south. They're gonna penetrate the wall some kind of way. They're getting past the wall.
I think before we had talked about them just walking through the water, remember?
Yeah.
We had talked about them because they don't need to breathe. So
like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Right. Or what did I say last time? It was in Dawn of the Dead, like the zombie movie, when they figured out that they could just walk through the water and come up the other side, because again, they don't need to breathe. So they would be able to just kind of subvert and go around the wall, and that would take them through at Eastwatch, which is where I think Shireen and Selyse are leaving from right now, and then Cotter Pike is doing the hard home thing, and so that it's all in the right place for that to happen. And I don't take the whites as sailors, so I don't think that they're just gonna like hop a boat. But walking through the icy water seems pretty apropos to them.
I would be so pissed if I were in the Night's Watch. Tens of thousands of years of manning this wall, and
guarding
they just
this big
walk
fucking
around.
wall.
It's like, fuck, we didn't think of that.
So, okay. I actually think that the wall is going to fall. I think the wall is going to fall, but I like the idea of them walking around it, because you would think funny. They're so cold, their footsteps, like the White Walkers themselves, their footsteps would just freeze the water as soon as they touch it. I want the wall to come down, like the whole thing, like the whole wall. I want it to come down and like just like have this earthquake and water everywhere, like a Hammers of the Water type of event. I would love to see it. But I want to know how far north, like how far into Westeros do you think they're going to get? In the show, they got no further than Winterfell. Do you think?
I think
for the book?
I think we're heading to the Trident, to the Riverlands.
Yep.
I think the Trident as well.
I want a big Riverlands battle.
But
all the shit in Westeros goes down is in the Trident.
Dany dreams it.
Yes,
here's the deal, though. We can't go straight to the big O without a little bit of foreplay here. So if we think they're making it all the way to the Riverlands, like Final Destination sort of thing, I do wonder what will happen at Winterfell. Like, are they going to just basically like just get the bulk of, kill the bulk of people that are there, add to their army, or are they absolutely going to seek to clean house? Because I think whether they clean house, because make no mistake, quite a bit of our main players are going to be at Winterfell when the White Walkers hit. I mean, they can't all die. So I kind of wonder what's going to happen to Winterfell when the White Walkers hit it up.
I don't see Winterfell as being one of their main targets. I don't think there's really anything aside from adding to their numbers. There's nothing for them at Winterfell.
You think they'll try to avoid it?
Maybe.
I think that there's a good opportunity to raise the crypts. The bodies are underground, far, far, far north in the crypts of Winterfell, and they would be frozen, and they would be pretty well preserved because they were frozen. And I don't think that it would be too much of a hassle to just go and raise the crypts and keep moving. There's a lot of Starks down there that they could add to their numbers, and there seems to be a big connection between the Starks and the Whites. But I don't think that Winterfell is their objective. I don't think that that's on their checklist. I think that they're gunning for dragons.
Can I interject here? And this is me not just speaking to you ladies, and this is the first time we've done it. I want to just throw a curveball at you and ask, what do you guys think? Because you're all brilliant. What is the biggest obstacle that the White Walkers need to overcome? What do they want and what do they need in this story, in your opinion? Because the biggest complaint about the books, straight up, is, well, that doesn't make any sense. Arya killed them, and all they wanted to do was attack Winterfell. So what do they really want? Starting with, like, what it like honestly, straight up, like, what is actually satisfactory for you guys? What satisfies you?
They want a baby.
We all want babies. Not me. No.
David Bowie in the Labyrinth. They just want a baby.
They want a prince. They want a prince that was promised to them.
See, I don't think they give a shit.
You just think
they want to kill dragons. No, not at all. I think they want to kill dragons. I think that they have been around long enough, that they saw what happened in Valyria. They saw what happened in Ashai. They see that those places that had dragons are absolute fucking wastelands, and they are trying to prevent that from happening in Westeros.
I think they're no different than a disease. Like, a disease doesn't need
like grayscale,
like an absolute objective to spread. I think they just I think they're on autopilot to a certain extent. Like, I don't want to say, I mean, in the very first chapter, the prologue, they exhibit personalities. They exhibit
looking on.
Right. They're taunting someone. They're kind of laughing. They even exhibit caution. And I don't want to downplay that by saying they're on autopilot, because I think the Whites are on autopilot. Like, they would gladly throw themselves into whatever. But there's this moment where they kind of pause when they see Waymar Royce's sword, kind of check it out. Like, is that Valyrian steel? Because I do think that if there's one thing that the show did kind of canonize preemptively, it's that, dragon steel,
Valyrian steel.
Valyrian steel definitely kills the White Walkers. But I mean, I think that they don't really congregate around a round table and say, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. And there is language between them. I think they just have this objective to spread. I don't know if they would want to extend it to Essos. I think they do. I think it's just kind of creating this ever winter. Now that I think about it, they probably just want to survive. And for them, surviving would just be making everything cold, everything winter. And I don't think they're looking for Whites to, feed them grapes and fan them in the heat. But I think that the Whites are a good tool, which is why they kill up everybody. Like, they just want to be the only living beings on this cold.
Why would they need to migrate? Is the issue.
I was gonna say, honestly, in my best Drake voice, I think they're looking for revenge on Summer 16. Oh, shoot. I'm like, but yeah, no, seriously, I really think they're looking for revenge. Like, I would be upset if I was stuck up in a frozen wasteland, forgotten about for thousands of years, just sitting there, just coming up with my great master plan to take revenge on all the men and children of the forest and anybody else that gets in my way.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really love about Gray's video that she put out, which you were supposed to put out this morning, but you put out last night, after your long Twitch, excellent stream, but a wonderful video. You talked about sacrifice, Gray. That really touched, that really struck home, because you spoke about, there might be like 1,000, that's a statistic, right? For people to just die in battle. So it needs to be a sacrifice. And you really touched on the sentiment of that. Craster gives boys, because he looks at boys in a misogynistic way. Of course, it's Craster.
I said I don't know. I don't know if he's like, boys are more valuable than women.
But they definitely are, in his opinion. Trust me.
I don't think he wants competition. Like, I also think it makes sense that he doesn't want competition to fuck his wives.
Yeah. So none of us want that. I agree. None of us want that. But you get what I mean? Like, you touched on the sacrifice thing, not just a loss of life, giving up something that you love, giving up something that's important to you. Besides whatever, however you want to put it. However,
Okay, I got excited because Brandon Winslow, and hey Brandon, by the way, in the chat had asked, what was the cue to wake them up is my question. And I'm so glad you asked, Brandon, because my pet theory is when Rhaegar died, I think that's when they woke up. I'm not saying Rhaegar is connected to the White Walkers as much as like I kind of think the Targaryens are kind of tied in this sort of like weird Ouroboros sort of
That's
cycle.
the causality.
Actually,
that's
I was going to
yeah.
say, to piggyback off of Rhaegar, I actually think it might be Summerhall, because that seems like a big magical event, like a really tragic magical event, kind of similar to like what, probably not as powerful, but like Gray alluded to earlier, the incident with the Hammers of the Waters, that was a big magical event that caused something, which I also think probably was related to the White Walkers' creation. So maybe whatever magic they were attempting at Summerhall, obviously it completely went out of control. Rhaegar was born at Summerhall too.
Summerhall
Very
and
interesting.
was my guess.
Mine was Bran's birth. So Bran was born, it says, at the height of summer. So if it was the height of summer, ever since Bran's been born, it's been getting colder and colder and colder and colder and colder.
Yeah, the causality goes there.
So I think it's Bran. I think
only reason I refute that is Craster's been giving babies away longer than Bran's been alive.
Well, a lot of scumbags have been giving babies away for a long time. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying like he's giving them to the gods, kind of like how the Night's Queen and her guy, they're sacrificing to the gods. So I feel like he had to have been doing it for longer than always 8 years.
Yeah, so it would have to be longer than that, because some of them wives are old. But what I did want to say was Craster and Gilly refer to the White Walkers as gods. I personally do not think, I think they are creations, possibly God. I could see why people would think they were gods because of how they look, because of the things that they can do. But I think that I agree with Ara that they want revenge, because Quinn has talked about this, about like the Children of the Forest having like different factions and like one radical faction. And I feel like one radical faction made them and they want revenge on them. And I feel like also Bran is probably like, they probably actually really do have beef with Bran because they want to survive, and Bran is probably
a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He's a pervert.
Damn perverts. Before we move on to the final segment, I do want to ask one question for everybody on the panel, and that would be, we see people with altered motivations, right? Living. So as George handles magic, right? Like he handles it like quite realistically, you know, it's magical realism. And we're tending to believe that these undead beings could have motives that aren't these ultimate absolutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just as misguided as the living. They were just as misguided in life as they are in death, right? Are we under that understanding or not? Meaning that the White Walkers don't have the answer, and they're not seeking. They might think they do, but their motivation might not be true. They didn't get some, like John says in the show, remind you that he saw nothing, right? So they don't have some answer, in my opinion. Is that your guys' opinion?
Like they saw nothing because they forgot about wargs. So that is just...
Well, but they're not gunning for some like ultimate absolute righteousness, is my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, this kind of comes down to what I was saying about like, I need to find another term other than autopilot. I think that they were created to do something and they're fulfilling what they were created to do. Other than that, I don't think, like, I don't know.
It's kind of dark.
Alicia, actually, hold on. Sorry. Alicia, what you were saying, they're created to do something. If the children did create them to defeat men and men are still around, their job isn't done. So if that's their ultimate objective, is we need to destroy all men.
But
that makes me wonder, because I know in the show they were wiping out the children of the forest.
Well, the children of the forest need to answer for a lot of shit.
Well, I mean, that makes me wonder. That makes me wonder if, judging by how the children of the forest have a whole lot of motivation to help Bran and Bloodraven and all that, they could be doing it out of the kindness of their hearts for some ancestral repentance, but I doubt it. I think they're doing it for survival too. So that kind of makes me wonder if, I mean, judging by the fact that we're seeing white polar bears, I think they're wiping out all living forms, not just men. So that's where I think things might have gotten a little out of control there. But I mean, I like it. I think they have personalities, but I don't think they necessarily like go to each other's house to play Jenga on Tuesday nights or, you know, have book club or anything like that. So I kind of think that their objective only goes so far. Well, like, I don't think they have these councils about them. They sit around and they're like, okay, this is the strategy. I think they just move in and they do.
And what's more frightening than that, before we move on to the final segment of that, we don't know why we live, but also the point of which we die and we're reincarnated in this White Walker sense, those guys also don't know. You know what I mean? That's terrifying. That's fucking, and they play Skippo on Tuesday, by the way, and we're going to the final segment, but that is terrifying because
let's say for example that my theory is right about the White Walkers, and this is why they could have beef with the children. You woke me up, and then when you saw I was really about that life, you joined the people that you woke me up to defeat. And defeated
It's like
me.
Hela. It's like Hela in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
She wanted to be queen, but I mean, she was basically like, you bred me for war. You used me for war. And then when you decided that your whole, not thought process, like your whole life outlook changed, not only did you dispose of me, you imprisoned me for thousands of years and then tried to wipe out all memory of me. So when Hela came back, it was
Hela,
the vengeance.
Yeah. But what would make you believe that if you were worthless and you were used, that you were a product of usury in life, that you as a corpse would be any better? We always assume this higher power. So I think it's George's dark sense. But on that bright note of being dead and worthless as well, we'll go to the final segment here. DireWolfCity and the fall of the White Walkers, which we started off with, oddly enough. But who, when, and where? Do you guys believe? Do you ladies believe this is going to go down in a similar fashion? Let's spill the tea.
Do we think they have a home base? Do we think they have a home base, like some sort of source of their energy?
It's in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Lands of always winter.
Okay. The heart of winter.
Yeah, the heart of
winter. I've said this multiple times. I know I've said it multiple times on Gray's channel. I think that Daenerys and Drogon wreck shit, whatever their source of power is. I think they go out kamikaze style. I think that's a sacrifice that she makes. I think that's how she dies. I think the last thing she's going to see is a red door before she perishes. And I think that is going to be an assist. So, in the show, they oversimplified and they're like, we'll just make a head honcho. And if we can kill the head honcho, then the whole army is going to go. I kind of wonder if there isn't like this whole process they need to go through. Like there's a power source and then you start killing White Walkers instead of all of them falling at once, because I think that's kind of cheating. The whole, you take out one, they all fall.
The hive mind.
Don't tell Star Wars that.
This ain't Star Wars.
But
I think finding a vulnerability or something that you had to destroy to impose a vulnerability on them would be pretty interesting. I hadn't considered that before, but some source of power that they draw from that keeps them alive, because we don't know if they're immortal beings. We don't know if they age. It's an interesting concept because they are taking babies from Craster, and we have not seen any white babies.
Mhm.
So there should be an aging process somehow. I can't imagine them
They're in
like
daycare
having
right
wet
now.
nurses
Yes, daddy daycare.
I don't think they're taking care of human babies, waiting for them to grow up and then turning them. So
Yeah.
there has
Yeah.
to be some sort of aging process to the whites.
Well,
Can you imagine how emotionally immature these White Walkers are if they did have personalities? I'm just saying. But no, I mean, I think that great, I distracted myself.
Well,
Damn
what about
Oh,
Craster's
okay.
point of view though?
I was gonna
He's like,
say,
these
you had a
bastards keep leaving
super
me
chat come in.
babies, and now we got to take care of them because we're the only responsible people here. Like that's what they're doing. Like that's
Would you
fair
rather
enough.
be raised by a white or by Craster?
A white.
Yeah.
Same.
Like,
White.
first of all, other than Justin, we're all women here. No woman
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to be raised by
ew.
Craster. Let's just put it out there right now. Like, if I had the option between being one of Craster's daughter wives and being this like ethereal, borderline invulnerable being, guess what I'm
Sign me up,
taking?
bitch.
Yeah, that is his
Yeah.
motivation. And
I
it's
would
perverse.
murder him. Ara, you were saying something?
Oh yeah, there was a super chat that came
Oh.
from Reflective Rambling. It says Brandon Winslow asked the converse question to my last one is what constituted defeated, air quotes, the last time they went away and what's changed, which I feel like kind of relates to what we were just talking about,
Mhm.
them
Thank you for the super chat.
losing.
Yeah, well, we know they went away. Supposedly they went fleeing up into the icy north. We're told many different stories, which are the last hero is one of them, and there's like all these tales of there's one about a woman with a monkey's tail. Like there's all these different, as Alicia calls them, flood stories. I mean, as they're called, flood stories. But yeah, I feel like a lot of those bits and pieces fit together to tell the story. Like I don't feel like they were all killed off. That's why we still have one. And like I talked about that quote about Sam saying they sleep under the ice for thousands of years and then they wake up. So I think it may be something like that where they get to wake up every 1,000 years, and like when someone lights the black flame candle and they have till the next year to like candle.
Oh, it's a hocus pocus.
Yeah, hocus pocus. But I mean, I feel like there's
no
a
one's a
time
virgin in
period.
the story.
There's a time period that they have to get shit done, possibly. Like that could be a thing, like where they have to sleep for this long period of time, and then there's a time period in which they can get some shit done.
I was thinking of like It, actually, like how he like the entity sleeps for every 27 years and
then
has some
feeds.
type of, and then feeds. I'm like, maybe it's like whatever weird cycle that they operate on.
So basically what we're looking at is it could be, after all this shit, which is kind of delicious, the White Walkers just sleep at the end of this series, where we just go through these characters' blood, sweat, and tears. That way we get like this in-depth look, not just the legend, like this in-depth look of what happens every 1,000 of years, so on and so forth. Or it's just one of those things where, like, in order to really defeat the White Walkers, you need to cut it out root and stem. And this whole time, no one's been cutting out the roots. So we could get this bittersweet ending where it's all just part of a cycle, a la Attack on Titan style. Or it's them, like, we finally follow our heroes through cutting things out at the root. I'm a little jaded when it comes to happy endings in George's world, so I'm leaning toward it's the former, like they just sleep, and that's part of what makes it bittersweet, not just a bunch of deaths. That's low
middle of a
hanging
battle,
fruit. Just
turn around and walk away.
Somebody
And
brings sunshine into Alicia's life. But
we have another super chat from Archival Mars 2. Do you think Jon Snow will have any part in defeating the White Walkers?
And that was my question to you ladies before that. It's who do you think will? Because we have Arya with her jumping and her stabbing in the show, which, fairness, jumping and stabbing is a fairly, capable move. But go ahead.
Either literal or metaphorical final blow is going to be Jon.
Yeah.
It's going to be Jon. It's going to be Jon, but he's not going to be able to do it without the help of his companions.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a simple matter of like, oh, Jon swung the sword. It's like, yeah, and then somebody forged that fucking sword for you. Somebody else gave you the fucking gloves so that your fucking fingers didn't like.
And somebody put the
fall off
horseshoes
while
on
you
the
were-
horse. But
Yeah,
how far does this go?
Right. It's like, it's gonna take a village. It's one of those things where like you can't like Ghostbusters, like the key and the gate
Besides
and all that.
Your
Like
socialist agenda, Bernie. Let's figure. No, I do get what you're saying though. It is a community thing. No, that is
Azor High is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah,
exactly.
I share a soup with Azor High. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I feel like this whole series has been setting Jon up for something, like especially to do with the White Walker. He's the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. They've killed him. Like they've killed him. and now he's gonna come back undead and beat somebody else the fuck up that's undead. Like I feel like it's perfect. Match made in heaven.
That's the worst thing that happened to somebody you kill. To be honest, when they come back, you're like, "Fuck, that's never good. That is never good." I can strick on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, when Jon comes back, though, he'll technically be a fire white, right? Like,
well, nobody's. Yeah.
Well, George
Catelyn and
said
Beric.
it. George said it. George
He's
said
whatever
it.
Beric is, right?
Yeah, right. All of Catelyn and Beric.
To preemptively answer a question that I know someone in the chat is going to ask if I don't address this. Do we think that Jon's PP is going to work after resurrection?
For Danny's sake, God, I hope so.
I say yes. That PP is fully functional.
Some Viagra.
I say no. But
pills for that these days.
Melisandre summon that shit up.
Oh, yeah.
Were you saying Arya?
If Melisandre gets, he's 5 foot.
Have some blood flow magic.
Yeah, that blood flow flows. He's 5 foot.
Go ahead, Arya.
No, I was gonna say they mentioned about Beric's blood being like black or something, or like kind of like congealed looking or something weird like that. Even though obviously
made it weird
times. So I don't think Jon's swimmers are gonna be swimming.
Yeah, his heart's not beating. Like you need good blood flow in your penis.
Well, what if part of like why Beric was like fucking sorry, the analogy's in my head. I don't have the words for it. But one of the reasons that Beric is like falling apart at the seams, some Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas shit, is because what if like there's a way that you need to do it so that they come back fully functional? I know I'm being like overly hopeful and doing too much mental gymnastics, but like, what if Melisandre knows how to do it so that when he comes back to life, he's living? And this is like not talking about his PP anymore. It's just like in general, like actual circulation through his veins. Yeah, he'll keep his scars and all that other stuff. But I mean, what if there's a certain way you need to do it?
Can I just pose
when
this?
Daenerys has that dream of Hisdar and his penis is cold.
I gotta go on camera for this one.
When she has that dream of Hisdar, like she's seeing Hisdar, but I feel like it's about Jon. I feel like it's about Jon Snow. I feel like they have to bang.
Yeah, I mean,
he's her third fire, her third.
Oh, I mean, they can bang and just not procreate.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, people have done that. To be fair, that's happened. But also, if we don't have living, right? What makes us think we have the afterlife, right? Like we have this like very obscure, like position on once we die, we get all the answers. It's like, motherfucker, if we didn't get like how we live right, why do we think we have this after? Like Jon says, it's all dark. Beric is a broken man. All of it. I mean, yeah, talk about blood flow, talk about Viagra, talk about all that circulation stuff. That's fine. All jokes aside, it doesn't seem like anybody knows what they're doing, no matter what state of being.
Sounds like real life.
Yeah, it sounds very depressing. Oh boy, but it's true. It's like, we didn't get life right, but we got death right. Are you fucking serious? Wouldn't you get the first one right? You'd be like,
sounds like you need to align your chakras, Justin, and then get back to me about that one. But
yes.
Super chat from Danelle Peoples. I'm sorry if I mispronounce that. How do you get close enough to kill something that can make temps cold enough to freeze you where you stand? Cold hands, Jon. Sam killed a White Walker in Storm. So, but I also think that they thought that he was too chubby and worn out to really be a threat. So I do imagine that they had their guard down because I don't. No, never mind. It's just in the show that they've had armor from the get.
Well,
never mind.
Tormund says it like, how do you fight cold? You can't see them. Like, how do you fight them? So they only come out at night. Samwell did kill one. But I do wonder how you would kill 99 of them. If Craster has 99 sons, how do you kill 99 of them?
Well, evidently high cholesterol runs.
They don't have 99 Valyrian steel swords. I mean, they can forge. I guess they'll forge dragon glass weapons.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Timon and Pumbaa distracting the hyenas in Lion King. I really want to see something like that with the other 98 others. I do think that the cold is definitely that ambiance that they bring in with them. I think it's part of the, like I said, their guard was definitely down with Sam. I think they can turn up the figurative heat as little or as much as they want to. So I think that if they're really trying to bring in the big guns, they're going to bring in the cold. They're going to bring in their Legion of Dead Folk. Hard home, whatever is going on there, that's them bringing the cold heat, if you will. Yeah. Whereas when I do wonder what they were doing when they found Sam, because Sam was kind of just trickling off on his own. I think he happened to run into a White Walker that was just, I don't know, stepping into the woods to pee or something. Who knows? But I mean, it does make me wonder when they decide that, okay, I'm going to stop talking. It's all jumbled in my head. But I mean, I think they have the ability to really bring it in. It's not every time that a White Walker comes on the screen, like it's all this ambience, it's the cold. Because I mean, in the intro, like Waymar Royce was close, like, yeah, the cold came, but it wasn't, I can't function cold. It was just, they were fucking with him.
And their weapons kept freezing his sword, like little by little until it broke. But like they were fucking with him. Like they were like laughing while they like just we'll fight with you.
And shout out to Waymar, by the way. He's like, good thing we're not children.
Dance with me then.
Oh my God. The book, guys, if you have not read the prologue, please read it because he's such a badass. Final question for you guys. How do you think it'll end?
Wins?
Yeah, wins. Do you think it will end in wins? Or do you think that because I can't imagine, in my opinion, that Dream of Spring is just going to be like this post-log. You know what I mean?
I think there's just too much outside of the North narratively going on for us to even touch down on the White Walkers getting on the other side of the wall. So if they do get on the other side of the wall, I think it'll be epilogue to Winds of Winter. I still think that like winter is going to hit. The two are kind of hand in hand. Like they awaken during a really bad fucking winter, but at the same time they bring the winter. So winter really needs to like in Dance with Dragons, it's a really cold autumn and we're gearing up for winter. Winds of Winter is going to be self-explanatory, but I just think there's too much going on in King's Landing and Dorne and Essos, all that other stuff, to really open up issues with the White Walkers being on the wrong side of the wall.
So you think they'll cross?
I think that I personally don't think they're getting past the wall until, like what Alicia said, like the epilogue of Winds of Winter at the earliest. Like I see the wall coming down at least by the end of the book, but I see the main conflict taking up the bulk of A Dream of Spring, because figure we still have to have Jon be resurrected. Dany is still lost in the Dothraki Sea somewhere, so she needs to get her way all the way back to at least a part in Essos that she can actually sail to Westeros to, and then get to Westeros. Then you got the whole conflict with Vagon and everybody else. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's so many threads.
All that in it's not going to be anytime soon. I don't think we're getting like big battles.
Much happening and too much needs to happen in order for it to finally fall into place. And I don't know that we'll see that. I think the Winds of Winter will be the setup for what is coming in the Dream of Spring.
And then we know that George has, well, I don't know if I should even cite this damn outline, but in his original outline, like he had everything ending like in this big climax, like the White Walkers, everything ending in this big climax. So I don't know if it's going to be like that. Like, I do feel like the White Walkers won't be the exact ending. Like, we'll still see what happens after they're defeated, like the Scouring of the Shire. But at the same time, I definitely do not think there's going to be a whole book on what's going down after they're defeated.
Yeah.
I think there's too much to close up in Winds to be finished with the White Walkers by then. Like, we have to see, like, Bran has to train. Yeah, Arya has to get back from Bravo. It's so much.
Stannis has to meet his demise. We assume he will fall, even though
Wait. Can you say that again so that the bro dudes in the back hear it? Stannis will meet his end.
First off, I'm the biggest bro dude in the world, and I'll tell you that if they ended this book with a paragraph saying Stannis fucking rocked it out like a badass, and he did it, I'd be like, good job. Fine.
I just want you to say the part where Stannis dies again.
He will.
It's ASMR. Come on, let's do it.
He will. He will. But yeah, no. But what you guys are saying is, I'm totally jiving with it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because the Dream of Spring is what they dream of in their moment of peril. That is it. You know what I mean? It's not the after. I think that a lot of people look at it like Gray said, like the Shire, right? You know, where Rich really, if you look into it, isn't all that glamorous, right? All these hobbits go back and they're like, oh, life's kind of shitty.
Here, I mean, it is now.
Yeah, and the elves are like, well, we don't want to be immortal anymore. I guess we'll just go die. So yeah, no, it is what it is. It's kind of a sad ending, but yeah, no, there's definitely a big war to come, but definitely the biggest war between the magic and the real, or whatever, the living realm is to come in the Dream of Spring if it comes.
Okay.
So Tony Teflon just asked in the chat, what's a bro dude?
What's a what?
What is a bro dude?
Because Alicia said for the bro dudes in the back.
Oh, well, I guess you just
okay. So yeah. Imagine a dude that starts every sentence with bro,
dude,
bro,
dude,
yeah,
dude, bro. Are you fucking serious, dude, bro? Come on, get with us.
But like, imagine less brain cells than your typical person that starts sentences with bro, because I will be talking to one of my girlfriends and be like, bro. It's
like
so
a
that's
Batista
a
that got hit in the head. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna spend the last couple of minutes answering some questions. I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover for the White Walkers in Winds, and I wanted to just give some shout outs real quick. So I see Edric Storm, Carl Carsnark, Bezad Goldenhand, Chrissy of Old Stones, Bear Chilled, Adrian, Count Valerian of House Tatters, The Disputed Lands. Check out The Disputed Lands. Check out her channel. She has some amazing stuff. Love you, Amanda. Brandon Winslow, Vicon Targaryen, SK, D Wolf, Magnifico, DZ, Teflon TV. You guys know him, but check out his channel too. He has great content. And Tony, you're covering Marvel right now. John Lang, Queen Boricua Radiance. Yeah, I just wanted to I see you guys and I appreciate you coming to support this stream. I know I don't stream that much, but yeah, I appreciate you for coming to stream. And we're going to do DireWolfCity every Friday for every plot thread. Every plot thread. So like, we just did the White Walkers. Next, are we doing John or are we doing Bran?
It's up to you. And I'm about to put that merch up
there. You decide. I think do you want Bran or John? Do you want Bran or John next?
Should we let them know the general mood of what's in the store for them with what they pick? Because if we talk about John, it's probably going to be just normal analysis conversation. But I mean, we've talked it, like the four of us have talked about Bran before, and we don't have nice things to say. So if you're expecting your sweet little summer child to get his, anyway.
Yeah. So just use your imagination. Use your imagination and pick which one you want us to talk about, Jon or Bran. Also, I have DireWolfCity merch. So new merch for this stream, DireWolfCity t-shirts. And if you want a t-shirt, then you can go to the link in the description box and use this coupon code WOLFPACK, and you get a huge discount for being in this stream.
Yeah.
The code is WOLFPACK. And send us pictures. If you do get a shirt or socks or whatever, send us
and we'll
send us a picture and
we'll put it in the stream. We'll put it in the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see your boobies.
Well, let's be careful.
Show us your tits.
All right.
I can say it.
So there's a medium for everything, but I do have this up here, and it is my IP technically. So let's go ahead and say yes.
Just kidding. Just if you do get one, the code to use for watching the stream is WOLFPACK, and send me your pictures, and I'm gonna put them on the stream.
Great. Who's the mayor of
Gray Area?
Oh boy, that's a good mayor.
and this is my cabinet.
Oh boy, I like it. I like it a lot. All right.
I mean, you can overthrow me if you want.
Well, I'm sure I could, but yeah, no, we're good. It's all paid up. No, I really love this, and having everybody. And you just want to take final questions?
Yeah, if you have any questions, I think let me look on my phone because I had some questions from Twitter that I wanted to get to.
You can send.
I sent it to you. Oh. Don't.
Edric Storm asks if you have panties in the merch.
Well, that's where we draw a line.
No.
Accommodate them.
No panties.
Damn it.
No.
We'll talk her into it.
Socks, though. Socks.
Yeah, socks are there. Gentlemen,
we'll talk her into the panties. Don't worry.
I feel like panties with a wolf on it is just such a good idea, whether it's a thong or guy thong. Versatile.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll do that. But so you guys don't even have any questions. The questions that I just looked at on Twitter, we've already answered them. We have already went over everything and answered it.
We solved it.
Yeah, we I hope you don't have more questions, but if you do, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to get to them. Also, after this stream, I'm going over to Twitch to play Warzone. If you want to join me, my Twitch is this gray area. So I'll be over there playing Warzone, killing people and stuff, or unaliving.
Hang out with us on Twitch. It's so much fun.
I don't think you're supposed to say killing, unaliving. But did you guys have anything you wanted to add?
Us?
White Walker wise, anything you wanted to tell the Sweet Summer family about?
Don't think so. Just if you want to be on the Obsidian Nights podcast, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and go follow Gray on Twitch. That's all I got.
And if you would like to see someone be an asshole for no goddamn reason,
and a cute dog, and a cute dog, but a really cute dog.
And a cute dog who is also an asshole. Birds of a feather. You can follow me on Twitter.
Before you sign out, Ara, we got one question. What news about House of the Dragon? So, same thing. It's about to start filming next week. We'll be out next year. We don't have any. We don't have any new news on it yet.
Well, yeah, I'm waiting. This is Justin. But yeah, we're waiting to see where they're filming, if they're filming in a bubble, and because COVID restrictions, and we've seen a big breakout in Europe, and it's not great. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it, and I really like what Gray has done here because Gray has just done something that is going to come out regardless. That's the wins, and we're focusing on that. So yeah, as news comes, I know she'll cover it in Insightful, but yeah, it's they're gonna supposedly start filming it. So how they carry that COVID production will be quite interesting. But it's gonna be it's gonna be something to overcome for sure. Hopefully.
All right. Well, Ara, would you like to tell the people where they can find you? Aren't you getting ready to start on YouTube?
Yeah, once I get off my butt and do it. I feel like, is my camera frozen?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Yes.
Well, y'all can't see me properly, but you can hear me. So with that being said, you can follow me on all platforms at I Eat Zebra. I do have some stuff in the works, so hopefully I'll get that to you guys very, very soon. Keep an eye out for it. I'll let you guys know, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys have a good night and a good weekend. And if you want to join me on Twitch, I'll be over there playing Warzone. Love you guys. Okay, my sweet summer children. Have a good day.